Hello everyone, this is Ryan with Beer by the Numbers. I have poked my fair share of fun at the mega brewing corporations and their unceasing acquisitions of craft brewers, but today I am going to put my critical thinking hat on and talk about how multinational brewing corporations actually help the beer industry, and they help independent craft beer thrive too. So today I'm gonna try to ignore things like distributor pay-to-play violations or the Carling illegal tax scandal in the UK or trying to buy up some hop suppliers to cut off competition or the time... You know what? Let's just get started. First things first, we have to remember that the giant multinational brewing conglomerates that exist today were once what we would call craft brewers. They made great beer, they distributed it, they innovated, they survived wars, they survived economic crises, and in the US, they even survived years of prohibition. These were the brewers that made a lot of great decisions, and were there for consumers through thick and thin, and they grew big because of that. Every business starts small, and although they may operate much differently today, they were once a local craft brewer. Bigger isn't always better, but it isn't always worse either. Now, let's be honest, most of us are just beer consumers. We don't think too much beyond the product in the bottle, and if you hang out at a lot of breweries like me, you might even know a few brewers too. But before a finished beer makes it to your bottle or glass, there were dozens of people who create and sold the ingredients used to make it. For a moment, I want you to imagine that you are a hop grower. In order to make ends meet, you have to grow plenty of hops each year and sell almost all of them just to keep the lights on, because margins are pretty small. And if you want to make a profit, you're going to have to pretty much get paid for every hop you grow. Given that motivation, which of these two customer sets sounds more appealing? One mega brewery with deep pockets that buys about 60% of your hop crop that you know you're going to get payment from, as well as 4 smaller breweries that take about 10% each, or 10 small breweries that each buy 10% of your crop. On the one hand, those 10 small breweries may make some great, hyper-local craft brews, but beer is a low-margin product, and any home brewer will tell you that the nice equipment you need to make brew consistently costs a lot of money. That means that many of these small brewers don't have a lot of extra cash on hand and likely won't be able to pay you right away, and sometimes not even pay you at all. In addition, having a bunch of small customers comes with way more overhead expenses for things like accounting, collections, payroll, and legal. Compare that to having a mega brewer as a customer. You know you're going to get paid for most of your hops each season. They may demand a lower price for hops or have some long invoicing terms, but they most certainly will pay you no matter what. And that's gotta feel really safe for hop growers, knowing that no matter if the small guys pay you back or not, you're still gonna be growing hops next year. This allows them to take a chance on a new brewery that may pop up in their area, or not sweat it if a craft brewery needs a little bit more time to pay them back. This logic can also be applied to other businesses that support brewing. Barley growers, maltsters, brewery equipment manufacturers, and even truck drivers are all able to operate more confidently with large players existing in the market, and that makes them more likely to take risks with new startup breweries. Speaking of businesses being willing to take risks on startups, let's talk banks and investors. Every brewery needs to have a good relationship with a bank. As I stated earlier, the amount of money you need to buy all the equipment and ingredients to operate even a small brewery is much more than most people have access to. Even a used one-barrel system can cost up to $100,000, but most people need to raise at least $1 million or more to start even a small-scale brewing operation that has the potential to be profitable. And that kind of money means you need to talk to banks and investors. Those banks and investors are looking for business opportunities that are safe. There are plenty of scams and questionable business ideas out there. See our Bad Beer Kickstarters video if you want to see one of those. So the safer a business opportunity and the higher potential for growth, the better. Let's put our investor or banker hat on for the moment. So you have two business opportunities you can invest in. One is in an industry that commonly sees big companies buying the smaller companies, meaning that if your investment gets bought out, you're going to get a huge payday. And the other is in an industry that the only way to get payout is if the business grows large enough on its own and has enough cash on hand to actually buy you out. Which one of these are you going to want to invest in? I'd pick the one that has a chance of a buyout, giving me more future opportunities to make my money back and a nice profit to boot. This is why Silicon Valley attracts so much investment money. Many of the startups there actively try to sell themselves to the large tech companies around them, so they and their investors can get a big payday. Big breweries buying smaller ones signals to investors that putting their money into breweries is safer than other business opportunities. And guess what that means? More local craft beer for us consumers as more local breweries get invested in. Beer nerds, I know it hurts when a brewery you love sells out. Believe me, I have been there. It can feel like being betrayed. But take solace, dear viewer. Know that big brewers also play an important role in the ecosystem that has allowed craft beer to thrive. Remember, the craft beer revolution came from an environment in which 3 mega brewers dominated the market. They made up almost the entire marketplace where merchants, investors, and consumers alike felt safe taking a chance on a bunch of new breweries, and craft beer has exploded as a result. I hope I managed to convince a few of you that big beer isn't all bad. Now, that doesn't forgive everything they do, but they certainly aren't all bad. Let me know what you think of these points in the comments section below. Also, while you're down there, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more great content about the beer industry. Once again, this has been Ryan with Beer by the Numbers, and I will see you in the next video.